everyone, this is Shokora Zouheikyoku aka chocomint, and welcome back to our Let's Play of Celestia. In the last playthrough, we have been thinking about our feelings towards Lord Solis and got kind of windmilled by Zouheikyoku. He is a good friend of Solis, of course. And all the feelings are all over the place, and we're trying not to think about it too much. So now maybe they'll think about it a bit more and see what will happen next to their relationship. Let's continue. Your race manners are exemplary. Oh no, you caught me. I wouldn't dare. Oh no, you caught me. Wait, did I see her eyebrow wiggle, or is it just I'm just dripping here? My reply is deadpan, causing Solis to laugh even louder. I knew that was your plan. Oh wow, my dark machinations have been exposed. What am I to do now? I'll glad you to keep doing it. The way he grins at me, earnest and genuine, makes my breath catch. I'll glide that too. His jovial smile weakens into something more contemplative. As a sign, I wish to know, do you believe in destiny? In the grander sense, that's... I don't think I do, but I'll glad to. I would like to as well, cause I... He clears his throat. Never mind. Finish what you are saying, sir. Finish it. I smile up at him over my book. You can tell me when you're ready. He smiles gratefully. I think I'll have to do that. We're in town again, this time for a stroll. Solis seems much less wary than he did the first time we came. So, this is how you batter on this human world. Oh, that's cute. This is a more chibi-like style. Very cute. Solis' eyes are wide as he bumps the side of his fist to his open palm. I smile fondly at him, because of course he wouldn't know. I only know through observation, but as it turns out, I'm good enough at battering to surprise us both. Careful about saying the H word. I don't want to attract more attention than we usually do. Not again, anyway. Oh, my apologies. I will avoid saying it next time. I don't think anyone was paying any particular attention to us, so I think we're in the clear. That's a relief. That aside, where would you like to go next? I tap my chin lightly, stopping for a moment to think. Nothing comes to mind. I'm not sure. I don't want to waste your time, so why don't we leave for today? Solis looks mocked offended, or maybe it is genuine. I can never tell. You never waste my time. Your blindness day is too young, so we can walk around and see what's around. I know you're kind, Lord Solis. You're going to look at what I find interesting and purchase it secretly. Just like your little disappearing act when you went to purchase this hairpiece. Solis pouts. Well, not exactly. Even so, it's the closest thing a celestial as proud as him will get to about. I wonder, not for the first time, why I find him so endearing. Is that such a crime? I smiled brightly. Just a tad little smack. It is, yes. I'll feel bad if you got me all these gifts and I didn't give you anything in return. The gift of your company is... The gift of your company is enough. I know you love saying that. Because it's true. Is it so wrong to feel that way? Oh, don't give me that look. It's unfair. I don't understand what look I'm giving you. For the first time, I'm not sure if he's being truthful or not. Does he genuinely lack self-awareness when it comes to his own behavior? Maybe so. It doesn't mean what he's doing is fair by any stretch of the imagination, though. Never mind, let's walk for a bit. Now that I would not mind. Before I look forward, I see a small smile grace Solis' lips. That dastard! He absolutely knew what he's doing this time. At the sight of my glare, Solis finds innocence. What is it, Taikiburi Luna? You played me for 4. I'm an honorable man, but cunning is not beyond me. I'll keep that in mind next time I decide to do anything nice for you. Please do. But he knows I won't follow through on my toothless threat. I hook my arm around his, and we walk in silence. We whipped through the crowds where he would have fumbled and bumped into people before. It's not a far stretch to say that he is becoming more used to the human world I love to observe so much. I wonder if I used to enjoy this. I say the words to myself without thinking. Solis looks down at me, his eyes suddenly thoughtful. You know, I've wondered similar things myself as would run on these excursions. What did I enjoy in the past? What was I like? Who did I love? Before I met you, I was convinced they did not matter. And now? I still believe they do not matter. And yet, now I am curious to know all the same. Do you believe your memories are something you need? I don't know. Bill gets so angry when he thinks about what he's lost, and I wish I could match his energy, but I cannot. Sometimes it feels like the key to a box I didn't even know was locked. But that doesn't change the fact that I'm happy now, even without them. I'm happy with you. The words go unsaid. It's true that I enjoy Vale's company. And as mysterious as he is, Prince Zouheikyoku is pleasant enough. But the happiness I feel in Solis' presence is different. I've always thought I was someone deserving who earned the position, as you already know. Solis takes a deep breath. And while I still believe that is true in some sense, I no longer want to tie my self-worth to something that happened in the past. He cracks a small but genuine smile. It will stay an enigma for the rest of my life as a celestial, and I will let it. The words touched me, so I return his smile. But as a thought occurs to me, it fades. Just a little. You know, speaking of enigmas, I have to wonder. I pause to think. Do we get reborn as humans when all celestial bodies die? I do not know. It is, and it will all likely always be. a mystery to us all. I see. I ask because I have spent time in the library. I read that dying stars sometimes give life to new stars. Perhaps it is the same as us. As in, dying celestials could give new life to new humans? Precisely. I wonder if we're reborn the same way we once were then. Are we bound to make the same choices? Will we die suddenly to become celestials all over again? Is this a cycle we ourselves are tied to? I truly wish I could answer any of your questions. Don't worry about it. In reality, I think I just needed to let it out. Besides, it's kind of a relief to know they don't have answers. How so? 'Cause if I knew the end to my story, there would be a different kind of sadness inside me. This kind of sadness is one I can't tolerate. Well, I for one am glad I made the choice I did. To compete, to fight, to claim that is rightfully mine. It was my fate. I refuse to reject it. It wouldn't be right of me to, not when there are so many people who rely on me for protection now. I turned his words over in my mind, considering. When you put it like that, I can't say out loud to have regrets either. No matter what happened in the past, I'm determined to be happy and serve my people that well now. Solis smiles tenderly, his eyes gentle. I'm glad you have that motivation, as thinking that way is what will make your work as timekeeper truly shine. Besides that, though, I can't help thinking about your point about reincarnation. What is it? What about it? If we were to reincarnate as humans once all time as celestials is done, it would rather poetic if we met again. I'm tempted to do something to thank him, but I'm not sure what. Should I thank him formally? Should I be more daring? I stand still for a moment, thinking on what to do. Solis stops walking with me. Lady Iluna. Give him a hug, thank him, or kiss his cheek. That last one is the most forward of all. Let's kiss his cheek. It's an impulsive thought, but something tells me to be daring, just this once. Feelings and confusion aside, I push through, my heart pounding in my chest. I've got this. I turn around and, on my tiptoes, press my lips to his cheek as slowly and deliberately as possible. Solis freezes in place, completely shell-shocked. Lady Ilona, why did you? I blurted the explanation quickly, trying to seem coy instead of, well, as flustered as I actually feel. I just wanted to say thank you. Is that adequate things? Saying it with as much confidence as I can actually seems to work this time. Suddenly, that confidence becomes real. So I lean over to kiss his other cheek, to make sure everything is equal on both sides. He leans in automatically, surprising me. I grin up at him. Again, why? Equally important, right? You taught me that. You are aware this is not what I meant, yes? I stretched the meaning a bit. Do you dislike it? He opens his mouth, then closes it, shutting his eyes to avoid my gaze as his cheeks burn. That I did not. After a few more moments of silence, our arms linked tightly once again. It's almost time for me to leave and for him to rest. I imagine staying like this with him for much longer than we actually can. I imagine a great many things I don't dare to mention even to myself. When we reach the end of the road, we both know it's time for us to go our separate ways. I hope I don't look too strange or too longing. Why my face would be longing is a question I still dare not answer, not even to myself. I guess you're still not ready for it yet, huh? I wish you farewell, Your Grace. I'm afraid I cannot walk you to your room this time, as I have another affair to attend to. Would you like me to send someone to escort you? I shake my head, unsure of whether or not to say what I'm thinking, that it doesn't matter if it isn't him. I'll be fine. Don't worry. Let's meet again at the lounge tomorrow. I would like that very much. He turns away first, leaving me alone under the night sky. I sigh for a moment before looking up at the stars. I'll see him soon, one way or another. There's no need to feel so melancholy about a simple goodbye. I suppose it's time to go. As I head back to the castle on my own, I wonder who Solis is meeting with. It can't be just anyone, considering he prioritized his meetings with me. After a few more moments pondering over it, I dismissed the thought. Why should I care? I shouldn't, and yet I do. I do. I stumble into my bedroom. I'm more exhausted than I thought I was, both physically and emotionally. I should change clothes, but I find myself staring at my body in the mirror. What did I look like before? What was my name? Who? But before the questions can overwhelm me, I shut my eyes. No, I talk about this with Solis. The past was important, but it can't be everything it used to be. It can't rule over me. Thank you, Solis. Saying his name without a title sends a strange tickling feeling down my spine. I do not dare say it again in case the magic fades away. Next time, I will say it directly to him, when we're both ready. Of all the unexpected places to go with Solis, this is by far the most unexpected. A moon festival thrown in honor of the simultaneous celestial gathering. Solis takes my hand without thinking, his expression awestruck. To ensure he knows what he's done, I grab it firmly before he can pull away in uncertainty. It seems to work because he squeezed my hand back. I flash him a dazzling smile. Amazing, isn't it? Truly, while I have hosted many events that are technically rare, this is incredibly outstanding. I never knew humans were capable of such organization. I stick my tongue out at him playfully. Seems that the humans aren't so hopeless after all. Solis blushes but says nothing more. How did you learn of this event? At the castle, I asked around for some activities to do together, and that's how I found out about this. I know you've been busy with planning the celestial gatherings, so I wanted today to be special, something that you can enjoy instead. Thank you for thinking of me, Timekeeper Luna. I will observe carefully. I chuckle a bit at that. He's always so serious about these things. Even when it's supposed to be about fun, I grin to myself. I'll make him realize that soon enough. If my plan works, it'll be perfect. I gesture toward a group of dancing people, their steps light and carefree. Why not join in? Solis shakes his head. I'm afraid I don't know the steps. Predictable as always, he never wants to try something until he knows he'll be able to execute it perfectly. I would rather observe, as I do not know the customs here either. Well, I think you should. Timekeeper! Timekeeper! I look around, not sure who is calling out to me. Ilona! I finally notice one of the townspeople approaching. Smiling at him, I give him a small wave as he comes closer. Esteban, it's so good to see you. The festival looks lovely. You know my name? I suppose we've never met, but I've observed the man and his family since even before his birth. Most definitely. Your beauty is what inspired the light show, and we've got it right there if you like to see. You and your companion, of course. I glance at Solis. What do you think? Shall we join the townsfolk then? The son looks like he's calculating several things at once. The casual use of my name instead of Lady Lunafield, or even Lady Ilona, is definitely one of them. Solis doesn't seem to take offense, but he looks deeply confused for a few moments. I would like that. Thank you, Esteban. No problem. And the friend of the good lady is a friend of mine. I've looked up at the moon of her since I was a wee little thing. Now come, follow me. As we follow him, Solis hisses so that only I can hear. Is it normal for a human to approach you so casually? No deference, no fanfare, no procession. Yes. Even without your title. I knew that was on his mind. It feels better this way. I feel close to my people. I don't care for deference. Truthfully, it puts me on edge when there's too much formality. Like there's a void between us that I can never close. Why does that distance bother you? It makes me feel very alone, I suppose. And did you request this, or did the humans begin addressing you so informally? I laugh, squeezing Solis' hand lightly. Stop asking so many questions. Just enjoy the experience. Solis nods slowly, but he looks as though he is still considering. Your relationship with humans is so strange, Lady Ilona. But I think I'm starting to understand you, just a bit. The words, chosen carefully, touched my heart. I hope he can understand me more too. We only have to walk a short while to the setup for the light show. Glowing orbs surround us, ready to be hung up on the makeshift stage I noticed earlier. They resemble my moon's own natural light. He seems to notice this too, because he looks at me in shock. Humans did this. So it seems. I smile at Esteban and the ever-growing crowd of townspeople come in to say hello. After many introductions, Esteban waves them away. That's enough of that. Ilona and Ilona's companion, who I never got a name of, have fun, mingle. The lights will be up soon and two of you can dance. He gives me a long, twitchful wink. I see what you did there, sir. I see what you did there. Thank you for the windmill. I was unaware that dancing was a part of the custom since this is my first time at a moon festival. In all my years observing, I've never seen it. I wonder if it's reserved for times when the Celestials are gathering. Thank you, Esteva. Now, my lord, shall we go? I look up at Solis, but he returns my gaze with only confusion on his face. Go where? To eat? I shake my head. No, to dance. After all, if you do end up hating it, you can always leave, but you ought to step out of your comfort zone a bit. It builds character. We're still holding hands, so I decide to take advantage of that, gently pulling him as Solis stumbles after me. As I take his other hand, I look into his eyes. You've danced before, yes? He looks around, clearly a little nervous. Yes, but not like this. That's a good point. People dance freely, tossing back the hair and stomping the ground in heavy steps that feel like a beat all on their own. I understand why this might intimidate people who used to knowing exactly what he's doing at all times. Here, there is no obstacle path to follow. And while that may be scary, that's a part of the fun. That's the fun of it, though, and I'll be here, watching. Solis looks at me wryly. I'll keep that in mind as you deliberately abandon me. I merely laugh in reply. He takes one step forward, and I walk with him into the crowd. When we join the dancers, I let go of his hands and back away. I cup my hands around my mouth. Try a bit by yourself first. I'll be right here if you need me. Solis is a little hesitant, a tad shy at first. But Esteva takes him by the arm without that hesitation, teaching him the steps. I tap my foot along to the music and watch him. Solis twirling, half stumbling steps are satisfying to watch. But then he does something surprising, something that calls me to him like the song of a siren. He throws back his head, full laughter filling the air, and just like that, I'm tempted to join him. I don't though. Instead, I keep myself rooted in place, not wanting to take the spotlight as Solis takes central stage. As I watch, he suddenly turns toward me, making eye contact from the ground and beckoning me over. My heart stumbles for a moment. The motion isn't at all commanding, but the self-assured way Solis reaches out to me, as though he knows I will come, draws me in. I slowly walk into the ground to find him. He takes my hand first. More people begin to join, and the small ground becomes even larger. But Solis and I are still together, twirling and stomping and laughing until the night ages. Eventually, I get tired and decide to step back for a bit. Solis, however, holds on tight. His eyes are half joyous, half bleeding. I don't know what to do with myself when he looks at me like that. I truly don't. As if he's answering my thoughts, Solis leans forward and murmurs in my ear as we sway to a slower song. Stay here with me. The word steals for what feels like eternity. His warm body close to mine, the subtle glow, his eyes filled with unbridled joy. At the sight, my heart sticks in my throat, ready to jerk me along with the rest of my thoughts. I want to love him. I want to love him so badly that it hurts. He is just so endearing that it makes my chest ache at times. I wish I could express these feelings, but I'm not sure what I should say. Is it okay that I wish to call this new feeling in my chest love? Solis twirls me around, and I am extremely tempted to kiss him right there and then, to test my heart out fully. What are you waiting for? I blink. Does he know what I'm thinking? If you wish to dance with me so badly, I am right here. Ah, of course. He only wants to dance, but I'll take anything I can get. We dance as much as we can, until we're worn out and it is time for me to leave. Solis escorts me out of the winning. Pronunciation is really bad. My pronunciation is really bad. Draining crowd and whisk me into an isolated spot. That was interesting, exhausting, but exhilarating. I smiled at him before nodding, trying to remain as calm as collected as possible. We should probably start heading back, but about the dancing, I could tell you were having fun. Will you go again? The with me remains unsaid. That would be too needy, too obvious, too indicative of my growing feelings. I can manage this on my own in my own time and see where I would like to go with it when the timing is perfect. The problem is, a perfect time feels eternally evasive. It could be right now, or tomorrow morning, or even the day my physical body is tucked back toward my moon and it's too late to say anything for the next century. Solis looks at me, a thoughtful expression still on his face. Yes, I believe I would, but not until my feet recover. I pushed lightly at his shoulder. You'll be fine before you know it. Solis smiles back at me, pure innocence. True enough, all I did was dance. And you had quite the time doing it. You look lovely. Lovely. I sputtered to cover my words. Like you love what you were doing. Solis nods, bowing deeply as our carriage arrives to take us back to the castle grounds. I suppose I did. When we arrive back on the palatial grounds, Solis focuses on walking with me, at keeping my pace. At my pace, I admit, is achingly slow because I don't want this to end. Always a gentleman, even when it's slightly inconvenient for him. That's my Solis. I flush. My Solis? It's not mine in any capacity. I squeeze his hand tighter, as if to reassure my selfishness. Solis unconsciously squeezes back. We're almost at my room, and soon we'll go our separate ways. I don't want that to happen. Lord Solis? Lady Iluna? We speak at the same time, but Solis lifts his hand gallantly to let me go ahead. Are you busy after this? Not at all, but as much as I'd like to spend more time with you, you need to get your rest. Would you like me to walk you to your room? Okay. Okay, that's an interesting thing. And that should be a good end for our playthrough of Celestia today. In this playthrough, we have another date with Solis, but this time to the Moon Festival. And we met some of our people who is very casual with us. I have actually expected a kind of jealousy scene, but it seems Lord Solis is just confused. I guess he's learning a lot more, which is really nice. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next playthrough of Celestia. Bye bye!